Okay, so before we get into the notes, so your notes should look like this but filled in, right? And then you should have this thing that's in your packet as well. So if you'll find the side that looks like this, we are going to add a tile up here in the top section. So, and let's use nitrogen because it's fun. Why not? So I'm going to put the 7 up at the top, the big N. I know that it's nitrogen. I'm not going to write the name in it, but if I look, the mass is 14.007. I'm just going to leave it at 14. So, because I think in color, I'm going to pull this aside. So my 7 is my atomic number. It is also my number of protons. So the atomic number, and it can sometimes be my electrons. They spell out the word ape, right? Atomic number is my protons and sometimes my electrons. The atomic mass, so my mass is my atomic number plus my neutrons. So this gives us man. So our atomic number, always protons. These two are always the same. They can never, ever, 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 ever be different. If it's a 5, it's a 5. If it's a 30, it's a 30. So whatever my atomic number is always going to be my protons. For 90% of the things we do, it is also the electrons. So ape, right? A-P-E. Those are always that little top number. The larger number is our mass, and it is the atomic number, or my protons, plus my neutrons. And that gives us man. So that's how we get that ApeMan, if you hear Miss Hubbard referring to it, or Mr. Topps refer to it. So as you do this section here in the notes, right, so our periodic table, our atomic number is always the protons. Most times it's our electrons, and we round up the mass because nobody wants to deal with decimal points. For our number of neutrons, in the notes, I know that it kind of cut off. It's the mass minus the atomic number, or protons, gives us our neutrons. So in this chart, because you have this part in your notes, symbol, protons, electrons, always going to be the same. No matter what number I start with, those three are always going to be the exact same numbers. So starting with B, if I find the letter B, the atomic number for it is a 5. So atomic number is 5. I'm going to go look at the name of it. The name of it is a boron model, or a boron element. So if my atomic number is 5, my protons are 5, my electrons are 5. It tells me my neutrons are 6. So to get the mass, that is my protons plus my neutrons. So 5 plus 6 gives me 11. Oh, off screen. So then let's go to the next one. It only tells me my atomic number is 11. So if I'm looking at the top numbers, that's kind of that's my atomic number. So for this one, it's Na. The first letter is always going to be capitalized. The second letter is lowercase if there's a second letter. So for Na, the name of that one is going to be sodium. And if I look, the mass is 22.99. I don't want to deal with decimals, so I'm going to round the mass up to 23. So sodium, and then the mass is 23. But this one, it tells me that it's 24, so I have some differencing. This is where we get that it's almost always the same. Or how do I find it? So for atomic numbers 11, that means my protons are 11. That means my electrons are 11. This is where a little bit of math comes in. So to get the number of neutrons, it's the mass minus the protons. So that would be 24 minus 11 gives me 23. Nope, gives me 13. I can math, it's early. 13. So then move on to the next one here. So it tells me my number of protons is 31. If I know that 31 protons, that means my atomic number is going to be 31. My electrons are going to be 31. To do the math, because clearly I need a calculator. To get my mass, remember it's going to be my neutrons plus my protons. So 37 plus 31 gives me 68. When I go to try to find the element stuff, remember I'm going to look for the atomic number. So 31 is going to be this Ga, or gallium. So I'm going to write capital G, lowercase a, and then the name in there, gallium. And then the last one on this chart tells me my electrons are 39. So that means my protons are 39. My atomic number is 39. To get the neutrons, it's going to be my mass, which is 89, minus my protons, which are 39. And that gives me 50 neutrons. So again, I'm going to go find number 39 on the periodic table. 39 is this uridium. So that Y answer there. So I'm going to zoom out so we can see this. So capital Y. And then yttrium. In the dark, I can't see. Okay. So that should be all of that. To glue this in, because you know this says to glue that little half panel. When we glue these in our notebooks, with a chemistry tab, so we just kind of created a page to be our first page in with the chemistry stuff, and then after that is where we're going to put this periodic table that we just kind of filled out. So to fold it and glue it in, what I had them do is put the one that looks like a coloring page on the inside, fold it in half, and then just the section up here that says spark charts, that's the part that we glued down so that we could still lift it up, because our class is going to put something underneath it. Across from that is where the states of matter and a little bit of density stuff will go. Behind that is the stations that you guys worked on yesterday or Wednesday, depending on the notes. So these notes that you just took, you're going to fold it in half. And then the panel that says glue down here, that's where you're going to put your glue. Please don't glue over this chart because you're going to need it. So you're going to glue it in so that you can still kind of lift it up and see. And then the homework is this piece of homework. So you're going to use what you know about chemistry stuff that we've learned so far. And I gave you some of the definitions down here on the bottom, but you're going to come up with these three. And then you're going to find the periodic table of elements. Where's the periodic table of elements? There's only one up there on the top. Examples of a physical change. So you can think back to 6th grade. And you're going to look at physical change. You cannot color the bubble. This is physical change. So you're looking for states of matter changes, or something was broken, some simple like that. And then I put on the top that this was due. Where did it go? This is due on the 11th. So you get it today, but you have quite a bit of time for it. So hope that helps.